A quick mic check to Lizzie behind the scenes. A very, very hello, hello. A very warm welcome to what is the final Livepeer Fireside of the year. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rich, and I lead growth and strategy at the Livepeer Foundation, and super excited to present to you today. So first things first, if you're not already a part of the Livepeer community, I strongly recommend joining the Livepeer Discord. This is where most of the activity happens. It's where you can discover new opportunities and what's available within the ecosystem. So today is going to be nice and short as we try and keep it. We have two key presentations today. First of all, myself and my dad from the Livepeer Foundation will comment. We'll present to you the new roadmap, that the new vision for the Livepeer project over 2026, what's been put forward by the Livepeer Foundation and how to prioritize. And then we'll also be hearing from Shannon, who's going to talk through a little bit about mapping the market opportunity for Livepeer and the future from a value proposition perspective. So let's dive straight in. So yeah, really, it's been a super exciting year for Livepeer, and we're very excited to be going into 2026. So what I wanted to present today was the foundations roadmap for Livepeer and how we can surge into the new year. So first things first, Doug presented this something similar to this in our annual onsite in Lisbon earlier this year. And I think it's a good time just to recap how the Livepeer community has been building solidly for the last 9 years. Since Eric and Doug published the Livepeer white paper back in 2016, 2017, we've seen the project as a whole grow, and this can be shown through Livepeer token, LPTs, market cap growing steadily ever since the first distribution back in 2020. And really, there's been innovation in the project since 2017. And we saw that with the development of the Merkle mine, which has still quoted in case studies today as being a fantastic way to distribute a token. Then we saw Livepeer leading the way from migration from Ethereum L1, where obviously gas fees were through the roof back in 2021, to migrating to Arbitrum, and really then establishing Deepin as a category within the crypto space. We saw the growth of Studio over the years, which was a comprehensive end-to-end streaming platform, which was the primary and still is the primary source of demand on the network. And then over the past year, we've seen some amazing developments into real-time video AI, mostly with Livepeer Inc.'s project within Daydream. But we've also seen some fantastic new ecosystem products appear on the network, including Frameworks, which is another streaming platform working with the Mist team, Streamplace, which again tries to establish content authenticity with video and building a truly decentralized video platform. And then also in the agent space with the Agent SPE, which has spawned Sarah, and as a first instance of AI agent avatars on Livepeer, and also Embody Network, which was released or in the process of being released. So it's been an amazing 9 years of the Livepeer project. Next slide. But I think it's also worth saying that Livepeer as an ecosystem really needs to move fast to capture this real-time video AI opportunity. And we've seen this with obviously the boon in generative AI and new real-time AI workflows that are appearing. And also from an infrastructure perspective, we've seen a huge number of compute networks or centralized compute providers competing for this space. And now really and 2026 is really this critical moment for Livepeer to move forward. Next slide. And this is where the Livepeer Foundation earlier this year introduced Surge, which is our ecosystem strategy to really capture this real-time video AI opportunity for the Livepeer project as a whole. Next slide. And Surge aims to accelerate Livepeer through focus, speed, and coordination. And all of the vision that came, the strategy that came through Surge was actually a longer process where we worked with key ecosystem stakeholders through advisory boards, which went through and created a series of tactical recommendations, which is really the foundation of what Surge sits on. Next slide. And the foundation, which was created 3 to 6 months ago, really the roadmap is this. The foundation's new roadmap, which we'll be presenting today, really makes the Surge strategy concrete and actionable for the future. Next slide. So what is the roadmap? Well, really the roadmap packages and prioritizes work to be executed by Livepeer's core contributors and community. It's a way of visualizing the work that needs to be done and really making sure that the Livepeer core contributors are focused on high value work rather than on individual projects or things that are not aligned with this broader vision. It should be said that obviously there's going to be a lot of space for other contributors to focus on this outside of this roadmap, but we really wanted to make sure that the high value items that were put forward in those advisory board tactical recommendations now have their own space, and there are contribution pathways for the future, which Madad is going to touch upon a bit more. Next slide. I think it's important to think of this roadmap for Surge in 3 different phases. We currently have all of the items that are in motion now as really focusing on driving network performance. How do we make the network as a whole more observable, compliant with SLAs, and specialized to real-time video AI workloads? We already have some fantastic teams working on this, both within Livepeer Inc. and some SPEs, special purpose entities, which cluster together contributors to effectively deliver on improving network performance. And this we see going through till really the end of Q1. And like I said, this is already very much in progress. Then we have this next phase, which is accelerating the network go-to-market. And we envision this through driving demand on the network by seeding new go-to-market bets and supporting them with talent, capital, and onboarding support to the product, network product itself. Now, these go-to-market opportunities, go-to-market bets, are already being explored by some of the ecosystem products that we see, and we're really excited to work with these ecosystem products to ensure that they are core design partners with how the network scales and improves as a whole. We also see this as an opportunity to drive this real-time video AI narrative, to make it a real meme, and to then attract and seed new founders and talent to be able to build out new verticals, such as in robotics or synthetic data generation or in video understanding. And this is in this next phase, which we see is really being focused on Q2 to the end of 2026. Q2 2026 to the end. And then finally, we have this beyond section. And we really see this as scaling enterprise adoption. So this is creating a compelling enterprise-grade offering to onboard new customers at scale across video AI verticals. And this is really important that we take the time to obviously build out the core network before scaling to enterprise, so that we can have large-scale customers onboarded to the network and then have reliable and highly performant real-time video AI compute, which can ultimately power workloads at scale. And this will obviously require an increase in the supply side as well as the demand side, and a real fine tuning of the network product, and a real support of these go-to-market bets that have been seeded and supported in this next phase. So we see these three phases as going through from the beginning of 2026 well into 2027. And obviously, the work that will be prioritized will be packaged into work that is being done now, next, or beyond. Awesome. Next slide. And I want to hand over to Medad, who I think is with us, who's going to talk you through and go into a bit more detail in the roadmap. Take it away, man.
Thank you very much, Rick. Mehrdad here, Ecosystem-wide PM with Livepeer Foundation. The roadmap aims to visualize core opportunities and align core contributors on strategic priorities, as Rich mentioned it, but let's get a bit granular on how everything works and how you can actually benefit from this roadmap. So as mentioned, we have three separate statuses for the items. Now, next, and beyond. Now covers the work that is already in progress or is about to happen very soon and is about to start. Next includes the work that will be unlocked by the current efforts. It has been scoped and is expected to land in the coming months. And it can be a beacon for community members to just look through, try to spark conversations with different community members and start thinking how they can work on different proposals about that specific item. And beyond represents where the network is going to go. It's not a fully planned out item, but it's where we want to be. It's a beacon and where we want to drive the ecosystem towards. There are also three phases, as Rich mentioned, that I'm not going to go through again, but it's basically the first phase is network security, usability, and making it production ready. And second phase, we're going to keep the momentum, continue growing. And third phase is just us trying to taking the network to the point that we can meet that demand. Each of the items have a defined purpose, a clear success outcome, and success metrics that can help us measure the work that is being done. We also added a set of requirements that can guide contributors to build their proposal. However, one important thing to keep in mind is that requirements are based on our interpretation of the advisory board items and the community feedback we received through the conversation we had with different stakeholders. But the main driver of the work are going to be the proposals that community members put together. This way we can make sure that we all move towards the goal for the network, but also allow creativity and allow community members to really get deep and build what they think is best for the community. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is our first iteration of the roadmap, and we're planning to have multiple iterations of improvement. Some of which I can mention are we're planning to add a backfilling process where community members can propose new opportunities or request features to be added to the network. It enables the community to suggest, discuss, and vote on items, which helps us capture the signals around what should be the next item on the roadmap or what are the items that must be prioritized. And we can scope that work out and add it to the network so everyone can have a view of it. Another item that we have in our pipeline to iterate over this work is focused on the delivery of the work. We're planning to create an accountability framework directly connected to these roadmap items to bring transparency and ensure timely delivery of these items. And finally, we've been experimenting with different contribution paths, such as RFPs, which has been very successful with the work that we are doing with Explorer or the work that we did for activation in Argentina. And we're planning to add new pathways for contributors to easily onboard to the network, find items that they can contribute to, and deliver the work on that item. The roadmap is going to be an evolving product, and we welcome any feedback community members can give us to make it better. If you're looking to contribute or you have any feedback for the roadmap, feel free to reach out to me as I'm going to be the primary contact for this board and also the main operator for it. Next slide. Yeah. The foundation roadmap is live right now. You can scan the QR code to check it out, and looking forward to hear your feedbacks. Thank you, Rich.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Medad. Yeah, super exciting. Medad's been working tirelessly to get this live. Yeah, thanks for everything, and looking forward to the roadmap in the next couple of months as well. I know there's a lot that you want to integrate within it, so super exciting, mate. Fantastic. Yeah, one final slide, which I think is really important, just to top this off from a roadmap perspective, is this roadmap is designed by the foundation to really be a CTA for leaders, both within the ecosystem and obviously leaders at the wings who want to come in and join the Livepeer ecosystem, to step forward and build the future of Livepeer together. We see this as not being about the foundation centralizing everything within a one big SPE or one big entity that ultimately does everything in-house. What we really see ourselves as is this coordination mechanism, coordination entity that ensures that we are clear with what needs to be done. Sorry, can you go back a slide? Yeah, perfect, thanks. With what needs to be done, and then being crystal clear on the sorry, can you go back a slide again? Being crystal clear on who is owning it and how we onboard those people. So it's really a CTA for the broader community to participate in the future of Livepeer, and to build the roadmap that has been put forward through this advisory board process and then roadmap creation. Awesome. So please do check it out. There should be roadmap being shared internally, and we will also publish something on Twitter shortly. Next up, super excited to welcome Shannon. Next slide. Shannon's been a long-time contributor of the Livepeer ecosystem, and has been doing some awesome work, research work into how Livepeer can win at the frontier of video and AI. So super excited. I will leave you in Shannon's capable hand for the next 15 minutes.
Thanks, Rich. And I assume I do not have control over these slides, so I need to say next slide as needed. Okay, I will just assume that. Hello, everyone. Oh, I can use the present function. Okay. Oh, wait, no, that's a no. Okay. My name is Shannon, and I was at Livepeer Inc. from 2021 to 2024, was recently on the advisory board process, and as Rich mentioned, have been doing a lot of market research and discovery through interviews with folks in the community around how to size the opportunity for the Livepeer network, and what are some of the unique value propositions that we can offer. So this presentation is going to give you guys a sneak peek and a preview into some of my early findings, and stay tuned for the full report. But yeah, this is meant to be a bit of a teaser, and really look forward to feedback on this. So yeah, we're going to go over two key questions. What is the TAM, the total addressable market for Livepeer, and what are the value props? Next slide. So video is at the heart of Livepeer, we know, and I think it's interesting to look at some of the meta indicators for understanding Livepeer's impact at a global scale. We can think about how many people in the world watch video powered by Livepeer, how many minutes of video are powered by Livepeer, how much data passes through the network, how much video compute is processed by the network. And there's actually some macro benchline data we can look to assess that. Next slide. So there are, over 90% of people who use the internet are watching video. So that's over 5 billion people. On average, there are about 450 billion minutes of video watched per day. The average person watches around 75 minutes of video a day. Most of that is short form. There are over 6.5 billion zettabytes of data transferred through video annually on the internet. And that's actually where we get the, over 80% of total internet traffic comes from video. That's actually what that means, is that there's that much data being passed through the internet through video pipes. And then lastly, the more, I think what's very timely to look at is, the share of global compute that's actually going towards video processing. So there are about 35 billion GPU hours consumed by video workloads annually. Next slide. And video really is the largest and most continuous consumer of global GPU compute. You can see the other types of internet applications that do consume compute: search and recommendation, AI training, gaming, scientific and high performance computing. But really video is the one that's consistently the largest. Next slide. Yeah, and video has 3 unique properties relative to other internet applications that make it this huge, continuous consumer of compute. Video is always on. Live stream is not a batch compute job. Streams don't pause. Video is obviously highly latency sensitive. You can't queue video inference like AI training jobs, and it's bandwidth coupled. The more video, the more compute and more data transfer there is. Next slide. So obviously AI is transforming video in a bunch of ways, and I'm going to go over 5 of those. First, next slide. So video is becoming an exponential consumer of compute, and that's because obviously video consumption is at an all-time high, and it's going to continue to grow as more people come online through new devices, and accessibility expands. And AI is turning video into a GPU native workload as well. And the result is there's really a video compute multiplier that you can see. So for every minute of video consumed, about 3 to 10 minutes of compute are applied upstream. And video models require, up to 20 times more GPU compute than traditional transcoding jobs. And so you can actually see GPU hours for video are tripling from about 35 billion today, and that's estimated to grow up to 125 billion GPU hours for video in 2030. Next slide. And yeah, you can see this. If you look in the on the vertical axis, it's actually the value of the spend on video compute. So you're not looking at the hours, but you can see that, over time where we are today, we're at about a $23 billion video compute market size. And a lot of that is still transcoding, but transcoding, which is the bottom orange stack, that stays pretty flat. And then above it, you have all of these new forms of compute. You have inference, which is growing really quickly. You have rendering and real-time graphics, generation and simulation, verification and provenance, and world models is that top one on the red. So you can see like the projected growth of, transcoding is going to remain important, but that video compute multiplier just means that for every minute of video transcoded, there's so many transformations happening. Next slide. And video is also becoming a multimodal object. Video isn't just a video that you kind of produce, record, and put online anymore. Video with AI transformations also includes text. It includes images, audio, sensor data, world model states. It's becoming a very rich media format that kind of stretches and really disrupts what we actually think video is. Next slide. And AI isn't replacing human video, but it is overwhelming it. And so AI video is starting to and will increasingly come to dominate the total volume of video created. Human video will obviously remain uniquely valuable for cultural, emotional reasons. But you can see that by 2030, because the cost of video production just come down so dramatically because of AI, because of the infinite remixability that AI enables, and also the real-time personalization. You can, with over, approaching 6 billion users, when you can customize and personalize video for all of those, the volume of video online becomes incredible. And so, yeah, by 2030, you can have up to a quarter of all video uploaded becomes AI generated. Most of marketing and ad creative will be video, and entertainment and short form content is going to increase as well. Next slide. And so you can see this, and if you look at the bottom right corner, you can see kind of a new entrant into the traditional video SaaS market, and that is the providers of AI video model platforms. So places where developers can either build their own AI video models or actually access video models. Next slide. And you can see that this is actually taking up a growing share of the SaaS market. And you can see that the companies that are providing these models, including Runway, are also offering, video SaaS and creator tools higher up the stack. So for example, Runway's creator tier is offering tools in the traditional video creation or VOD segment. And similarly, developer platforms like Livepeer are increasingly offering AI and lightweight AI pipelines in their developer workflows. Next slide. And AI also creates a new economic layer in video data. So video is actually 40% of the almost $4 billion global data collection market, and that's really driven by AI training demand. So video data is the largest input into computer vision. Video data sets enable all of the features like object tracking, scene understanding. And so as AI scales, high quality video data becomes a highly scarce and monetizable asset, alongside obviously with video provenance and authenticity. We obviously need to be able to differentiate whether something was AI generated or human generated. And that provenance and verification work is also valuable. Next slide. And the final point is that AI accelerates what is, the current concentration of power in video today. So we're going to look at the video economy in a second, but you'll see that over 80% of the commercial revenue generated by video actually flows through just a few vertically integrated hyperscalers: AWS, Google, Meta, and Netflix, that control, the audience, the distribution, monetization, data, and compute infrastructure. And the personalization that is possible with AI really increases that platform value capture and further concentrates data, attention, and distribution. Next slide. So what is Livepeer's TAM when we think about some of those dynamics around the transformation happening with AI? Next slide. So we can actually estimate what will become by 2030 a $9 billion global video economy. And the way I'm looking at this for the report that's coming out is really looking at demand and supply for video technology. So demand is really what drives the underlying technology needs to broadcast and transform video. Infrastructure, traditionally, that's going to include compute, but from an OpEx perspective, it also includes storage, bandwidth, and orchestration. And the AI data and training component, you can think of as the one-time costs around the CapEx for actually training models. But the demand is really where the value capture lies. Next slide. So yeah, you can see that the whopping share, over 75% of all of the commercial value generated through video platforms comes from advertising and subscriptions. And commerce, that orange segment, is actually the one-time purchases like pay-per-view. And then you can see SaaS is also included in the demand side because it's it's the tools that both creators and developers can get to respond directly to what consumers want to watch. And so the AI data and training and the infrastructure pieces, that teal and yellow segment, they're pretty small when you compare the overall video economy. Next slide. And so what that shows is, video technology, both the OpEx and the CapEx, is only 14% of the economy, but it determines 100% of the experience. And this creates a really fundamental asymmetry in the video economy. Infra costs are relatively small compared to revenue, but infra control is what determines who can enter, scale, or monetize video. Next slide. And the reason that this is true is, there's a hidden TAM that's actually not included in that 900 billion number I sent you. Consumer data is a hugely unpriced input into the video economy that contributes over $100 billion into the video economy, and that user data is what it gives advertising its profitability. And so today, this entire value layer is captured by closed hyperscale platforms, but it also, I think, really underscores the opportunity for open data and monetization primitives that can give users and developers the opportunity to capture a share of this hidden value pool. Next slide. So how and where can Livepeer compete in this landscape? I think there are just a couple of key constraints to keep in mind. The first is that, I think, as most people know, the Livepeer network is optimized for single GPU workloads. The Livepeer network is not optimized for multi-GPU workloads. It's not optimized for high-performance computing infrastructure that requires, GPU clusters or high-end hardware. And the other thing to keep in mind is that compute is becoming, and it is, a commoditized resource. The AI boom has resulted in a huge glut of GPUs on the market. So we really need to figure out how can Livepeer uniquely add value on top of that hardware layer. Next slide. Some key assumptions that I also put forward as we think about, how we can compete. One is that cost is not a key differentiator, and that relates to the, growing supply of GPUs on the market. Hyperscalers can always undercut price on high performance GPUs at scale. Cloudflare and other CDNs are rapidly commoditizing edge compute. And verticalized GPU providers are also optimizing unit economics. Also, performance is table stakes. I think that goes with those saying that, the Livepeer network needs to be at least as performant and reliable as other alternatives. And I think this means that, openness is where Livepeer has to compete and where it can win. Closed GPU providers can't and often just, don't look to orchestrate, specialized video workloads. And I think, thinking about how open orchestration and open primitives for video native compute jobs that are structured, repeatable, atomic, and verifiable is where we can start to build some hypotheses. Next slide. And so I have 6 hypotheses that I'd love to get feedback on. The first is that, these are what we need to test with, what I'm calling in the report ideal customer profiles, like who is actually has a pain point or who needs and wants what the Livepeer network can offer. So the first hypothesis is that the industry does need open programmable orchestration across heterogeneous single GPUs. The second is that, Livepeer can be the trusted substrate beneath the video SaaS layer. The idea that Livepeer can actually give video SaaS superpowers that it doesn't have today. Third, verification and provenance are becoming mandatory for AI video. We know that the C2PA standard is becoming increasingly adopted, but it also lacks a lot of the primitives. All of the C2PA manifests are actually currently hosted on an Adobe server. There's no kind of open, verifiable, trusted layer for all of that provenance data to live. Next slide. And proof of compute, which was one of the ways to think about provenance and verifiability. Another hypothesis is that this can unlock new high trust video use cases, whether that's through moderation, rights enforcement, IP. Another hypothesis is that composable and interoperable video and AI pipelines can become increasingly valuable. Do developers want modular workflows that can chain multiple models and providers without being locked into a single platform? And finally, the hypothesis that open execution environments can enable new markets for agents and machine-to-machine compute. We're already seeing Cloudflare move really quickly into this space with Cloudflare Workers. Cloudflare has been leading on the X402 agentic monetization primitives with Coinbase. So I think that, Livepeer has to move quickly into that space and to really test whether there is a scalable market for that. And so that's, I think I'm probably over 15 minutes, but that's, I think that was the last slide.
Awesome. You're allowed to go over the 15 minutes because that has been fantastic. And I know that, let's keep on the slide before. Not quite yet. If it's okay, just like I would love to ask questions because I know how much we've obviously been working closely together, and I know how much work that you've put in over the last couple of months. Maybe one question out of curiosity: what you've come to some amazing hypotheses there, which are very, very detailed. I guess abstracting a bit, what was the aha moment when you realized this is what Livepeer really needs to focus on, and why? Was there a specific moment where the penny dropped?
I've been working in and around what Livepeer does for 5 years now. So I've had a minute to kind of thread the needle on this. I think a big aha was actually when I went to DMUX in October. This was my third DMUX, and that's a global conference of video engineers. And I met with so many who are truly disillusioned and kind of frustrated and fed up by the fact that the margins on SaaS are so small. And everyone gets that there is a value capture ceiling that just exists because of the ad and subscription revenue models. And so I think that there is an appetite for the mainstream video developer ecosystem to be open to new primitives that really can reshape the competitive landscape.
Awesome. And yeah, I read something today with the current trending article, the crypto is dead, and that ultimately crypto as an industry is becoming less of an industry and more of a fundamental technology, a superpower for certain industry. For instance, obviously with fast finality and settlement completely transforming how international finance is done. What do you see as the same core value for crypto within video? What is the underlying core primitive that you can really accelerate adoption at scale?
Yeah, I think it's a bet on what looks like a really thin sliver if you look at, the traditional video infrastructure TAM that I showed around orchestration. And then when you look at compute, it looks like a very thin TAM sliver around verification and provenance. But I think what those both speak to is the opportunity for cross-cutting pain points, and where it's not so much crypto necessarily, but I think that blockchain, by providing the effectively hashing video at its primitive level, at a frame level, and providing like a trusted open ledger for that, I think that there's huge opportunity, and we just have to not lead in the go-to-market messaging with being crypto-y, but like really speaking from the perspective of what are the pain points it's solving for. And I think the other reality is just like, you have Stripe, Shopify, Cloudflare, all these mainstream tech companies are moving with the stablecoin, bandwagon. And I think like if we can demonstrate that Livepeer is capable of providing that like agentic compute value prop, and the only way you can pay for agentic compute reliably and efficiently is basically through stablecoin payments. So I think that being able to quickly find some design partners for that will be important.
Awesome. Yeah, I know there's a couple of contributors who are working on something with X402, and it is something that is being focused on, but I think for 2026 it needs to get more center stage. Completely agree. And final question: if you were building a product on top of the Livepeer network, in which vertical would you be building them, and why?
Yeah, I didn't touch at all in this presentation on something that I have spent a lot of time on, which is looking at consumer and behavior patterns around video consumption. And what's really interesting is that video is becoming the new layer for commerce. So again, something that's not included in the TAM is the gross merchandise value, GMV, of goods and services sold because people watch video. It's over $1 trillion of GMV that is like sits on top of video. And you can also look at the growth in live streaming and interactive video formats. And I think that that's probably where I would build something. And obviously it has to address advertising. I think that if we can figure out the open primitives that unlock new ways to let developers, creators, consumers kind of share more openly in that value exchange. And I know Eli's thinking about that at Streamplace, but he does need deterministic transcoding to be able to do that.
Eli, if you're out there, go speak to Shan. I think you already have, right?
I have. Yeah.
You spoke last week. And check out Streamplace, doing some really cool stuff around verifiable video as a whole. Well, Shan, this has been awesome to get you on. I know there's been a huge amount of research. This is just a presentation. Final question is: what is the plan to publish? Are you planning on publishing something that the community can read? I know we've spoken about it a bit, but maybe give some idea of.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen a draft of my tome of research. I think the challenge is going to be just like sorting through and like probably dripping out the content. I'm excited to share something hopefully in the new year that will include a summary of also the interviews that I've done over the last couple months with folks in the ecosystem as well. So I really just scratched the surface with this presentation, and there'll be a lot, I think, coming out from. I'm hoping that the foundation will be able to use a lot of this content as well. There's so much to unpack when you look at the demand side of the video economy and the segmentation of that, and looking at trends around, attention versus monetization with video. I think, that can be a whole thematic. Yeah, and I think it's an opportunity for Livepeer to hopefully use this content. The foundation can use this content for its marketing to also, I think, establish some new thought leadership verticals that can really, hopefully provide some fuel to the GTM cycle. For the next phase that you've also mentioned, like, we need to be, I think, prioritizing the ideal customer profiles, those ICPs. Like, if we can, as a community, kind of align on what do we think the hypotheses are for the Livepeer network, I think, translating that into core messaging that we use both in our, marketing materials and in our conversations with folks.
Fantastic. Yeah, I have read the Tolstoy novel report that will at least be it's like a lifetime of content we can put out from the foundation. So yeah, super excited to get that maybe slimmed a little bit, but this is
it will be an edited version, definitely.
the abridged, exactly. Yeah, let's so everyone keep an eye out. I think we published on the in some format, either on the forum, on the blog. So we'll definitely be shouting out about that. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Shan, for joining.
Thank you. I'll hop over to Discord, I guess. Is that where people are chatting?
Yeah, feel free to ping Shan in the Livepeer Discord, either in the watercolor chat, or if you're listening on Twitter, I'm sure you can just reach out.
Oh, this is live on Twitter. Damn. Hello, X. Okay.
Well, I should have told you before, but it's too late now.
Too late. Okay.
Alrighty. Thanks for coming, Shan. Fantastic. So final slide, I think. That's pretty much it from the Livepeer Foundation for this year. We won't be having the watercolor on Monday, and that will resume in a couple of weeks' time after the holiday season. Same with the Fireside. So yeah, just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone for tuning in. We have loads planned for 2026, and please do take some time to look at the roadmap, which will really distill a lot of the opportunities that are available to new and existing contributors. So super excited to plan for 2026, and it's been a great year on behalf of the foundation and Livepeer project. So thank you very much, and see you all in 2026.